Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut at your service. My name is Carmen Nieves, and I am your host. And we come to you live each Tuesday at 6:30 live via Soundview Community Media TV, your public access and your voice to the community. Our show features, as it does every week, on individuals who are making a difference not only in the work that they do, but how they give back to your community and leadership. Today we have a special guest with us, but before I go into that, I want to wish our team, our crew, all the friends here at Soundview Community TV, because today is our 1-year anniversary of running the show. So shout out to us and thank you to all the individuals that have been guests on our show, who have supported the show, who have been guests, and who continue to share our message. So today we're talking about manufacturing. And I have to tell you, I have been so intrigued with this because I was taking a look at a report that was written by the Connecticut Manufacturing Report for 2022. And it's by the CBIA, Concept, Ready Connecticut, and RSM. And it gave some really important facts to that, which talked about that manufacturing makes up, at least what it was counted to in 2022, that it creates 160,000 plus jobs here in Connecticut alone. That of those companies, over 4,000 were in business as of 2021. Imagine what that means for right here in Connecticut and how much we've come and how much an investment the state of Connecticut is putting into manufacturing and creating right here in Connecticut. I will tell you that it talks about that in compensation, it's $16 billion on average in compensation in Connecticut, 101,000. And it talks about that in taxes, just corporate taxes, it pays over $166 million. I mean, that's no small feat. And it says that for every company that's created, on an average of 5 jobs are created. So let me get into kind of what our special guest is today, because what we have here in Connecticut is an untapped resource in young individuals who are using manufacturing as an alternative to college. I'm not saying college is not important. I've got a degree. But I will tell you, there's something about building something and the ownership that happens that you cannot put like a price tag on. And it really gives something to have it be made in Connecticut by Connecticut people. And I have to share with you, I met this young lady, a friend of mine, Jaiden, who's going to be on our call a little bit later to talk about a program. I was telling him about my show, and he's like, you've got to meet her. You've got to meet her. This girl is incredible. And I spoke to her on the phone, and right then I was like, you're going to be on my anniversary show. So at this moment, I'd like to introduce Ms. Jaiden Appleby, who's Young Manufacturing Meetups co-leader. Jaiden, how are you?
Hi, Carmen. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, you are kind of what Connecticut wants. Connecticut wants talent. We were talking before the show that back in the day, manufacturing used to be your uncle, your cousin, your daddy, your brother, his wife, his, whatever. And it used to be a manufacturing. That's changed, and now that's coming back. So tell me a little bit about how you got into this industry and what is this meetup all about?
So let me tell you, this was not my choice at all. I did not want anything to do with manufacturing at all whatsoever. I wanted hairdressing. I wanted culinary, architectural drafting. I wanted no parts of myself. I was like, I don't want this. This is not something I saw me doing. So I went to Broadhaven's Technical High School, and I didn't get any of the picks that I wanted. So I ended up having either IT, electrical, or manufacturing, and I just said, why not? At first I'm dropping out of high school. I'm not staying. There's no way I'm staying in school for me. No, I'm about to go to Central. But my mom and my guidance counselor was like, just stay. Just stay for a little bit, and if you really don't like it next year, you can leave. Okay. I never left.
And you've created such amazing things. Before we get into all the stuff about the meetup and what it represents and how you empower young people like you, Tell me a little bit about your growing up backup story. Now, are you Bridgeport born or raised, or tell me how did you end up in this amazing state?
Listen, born and raised on the playground is not where I spent most of my days.
Listen, Will.
Hey. No, but I was born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. My mom and I, we don't live, and my grandmother and my sister don't live that far from here.
Okay.
I got into everything that I've done because in 2020 my stepdad passed away, and I always wanted to do something more of myself to make him proud. And I was like, what can I do? So after I graduated from high school in 2020, I didn't know what to do with myself. I took a gap year, and after my gap year I was like, I need to do something. So I went back to my old high school. I was like, what can I do? What can I do to, I was working in customer service. I did customer service for almost 4 years. I didn't want to do it anymore. It's not a bad job, but I wanted a career and something stable for myself. So I went back and I was talking to them. They're like, go to Housatonic. Like, Housatonic? I'm like, oh, all right. They're like, you can take a few classes. I ended up taking the entire advanced manufacturing program that they had there.
From when you didn't want to?
I was like, I don't know. I want to go to work, know?
I want to make money.
Exactly,
And I heard you're making good money because I heard you got you a new apartment.
I did.
Rolling. Congratulations on your new apartment.
Thank you.
I think that's what if please forgive me if it's not okay to ask. But how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
She is 20 years old, people. And let me tell you, I've talked to this young lady multiple times, and I will tell you, she has a mind of like a mature person that's been in their job for way more than she's like, yeah, I took it I went to Housatonic, I took it you would think that you're a lot older.
Yes, I'm only
so
20 years old.
what inspires you? I know that you talked a little bit about your stepdad, but what kind of inspires you? Because you've actually from this, so tell me how you got into this, right? So you met Jason. All the excitement is going back and forth, right? So tell me a little bit about, so you went to Housatonic, is that where you met Jason?
Yes.
Okay.
So they came to our class, I believe it was like in the middle of the year, and they came and they talked to him and a few other people from the workplace. They came down, they were talking, and they're like, if you're under the age of 21, and I'm like, 24, I apologize, 24, and I was like,
you were like, shit.
I was like, I'm not, I'm not 24. So I was like, okay, what's the worst they can say? No. So I did it, and then a few months later, I got told, oh, you have an interview at the workplace. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I went there, and I met with Sarah, who was the head at the time, Jason, and Lorenzo, who I went and I met. Oh, yeah, and I met with them, and I'm like, at first I'm like, I'm really good. I'm like, I'm barely gonna talk to them. I didn't realize I was gonna build such of a connection, and now Jason is like my mentor. I talk to him almost every day.
Well, I tried to claim you too, by the way, and he was like, you gotta meet her, and he was just so impressed with you, almost from the very beginning. And I think that when we help, because he and I work for the same agency, and our goal is to help young people. I work in the Career Hub, which is the young adult program. And we're working with the same age group that you're talking about, up to the age of 24. And our hope is to just give them, that competing edge to not only get the training that they need if college is not for them. And I will tell you, don't completely give that up, because it may be for you to build in the next ladder of what you need to do. Business or college is probably, it may be something that you definitely want to look into, to help them get employment, to have, one of the things is you went through our training as well, right?
I did, yes.
And then tell me a little bit about, Jason is going to call us in a little bit, but tell me what kind of gave you that competing edge when you started to work with Jason. What did he do for you?
It was more so of him having me meet other people. I'm a social person to an extent, but when it comes to meeting people at first, I'm like, I don't really know about that. But Jason's like, do it. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. So Jason just pushed me to do better. He's like really my mentor. He's like, do this. He's like, I'm setting all this stuff up for you. You can just show up and do it. And I'm like, okay, Jason, I will.
And he's really great. And when we're working with young people, I would love to see what you think really gave you that cutting edge and what advice you have for them? Because if you went through one of our Jason's program, which is the apprenticeship program, it not only gave you the training, it also gave you job placement assistance. Did he help you find your job?
Yes.
He did, and you're not going to give him some love for that.
I love Jason. I will give him all the credit. He's actually helping me a lot of people, which is how my program started, was really because of Jason.
And then he works with you for a year after you've completed the training. So since we're talking about that, we have a flyer about your meetup program.
Yes, you do.
So while we have it displayed, I would love for you to tell me a little bit about it. So tell me about this meetup program.
So what happened was originally Jason had me meet, her name is Marsha Lafima. She is the owner of Pen Globe in North Branford. And I went up to see her after my interview at the company I work for now in Milford. And she's like, I have a vision for you. I'm like, a vision? What? I said, okay. I was like, tell me, like, what do you see?
We all got visions for you.
I was like, okay, what vision do we have for me? She's like, I want you to run a program. I said, a program? She's like, there is a young manufacturer CT. They have one of those for 21 and up, but they go out drinking and, do stuff that when you're younger, you can't do it, So she's like, I want you to create something. And then she pulled in one of her employees. Her name is Tessa Nash. I love her.
I met her.
I
think she's amazing.
She's like, she pulled us in the office. She's like, I want you guys to make a program. Create it, call it what you want, we're actually sponsored by Manufacturer CT. They're like a big committee for manufacturing. It has a bunch of people who are part of the industry, a part of it. And I met with all of them, and they sponsor us. We help get teenagers and young adults from the age of 16 to 20 as of right now. We help them with, if they're working in the industry already, it's just the outlet for them to, meet other people in the industry, see that they're not alone, they're not the youngest ones there. But if they don't, and they're under the age of like 16 to 18, and they really want to get into it, I'll help them with, networking themselves, meeting people the way Jason did it for me. I didn't have anyone at that young age, so I wanted to be that mentor for them, for somebody to talk to, if they need help with anything. Because one of my biggest struggles was being a female in this industry. It's very hard.
Yeah.
And I'm young, so people look at me like, she's young, what does she know? Well, guess what? I know a lot.
I saw you and I said, did I not say to you, you could be a teacher for the workplace. That's really how you really share like high expectations, and that's really, really what I kind of was respecting about you, that you're helping young people to not only get in the game, but stay in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And part of that is not feeling alone. So tell me about, I went to your last event.
You did.
So I want you to tell me a little bit about your last event, and I thought it was amazing.
I'm so glad
I was like, there were plenty of food and games.
I made enough.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So, with it being Memorial Day month, we really wanted family to be involved, because in this industry, you don't do it alone. My mom and my sister and my grandmother have been there for me. I have other people in my family that have been, but they have been my main support, who have helped me through everything, and my mom pushed me, do it. Who cares what anybody else says, do it. She couldn't make it to the event, but my sister was there. And I wanted to really bring out the family in the industry, because, you got that support, you got that backup. Besides your work family, you have family. So I wanted to do an event where they all got together. I had people bring their sisters, their siblings, their best friends who have been there for them, because family ain't always about blood. I have best friends who I look at as family. So it don't make a difference. But I want to do something for everybody. Have a lot of people come out, enjoy, have a great time. Get to play games. We're like, what can we do? So we made it competitive.
I saw.
Listen, we get crazy.
Listen, there was beanbag tossing and kickball, and I was like, what?
I
thought it was great.
Yeah, we really had a good time, and I'm so glad you were able to make it, because you got to see it is a family, not just with the people we work with, but you see Jason showed up for me. He's like family. Tessa Nash, who showed up, she's family.
And she came from far, by the way.
She came from Madison, Connecticut.
From Madison, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And then because she wasn't, and Jason either, because they didn't have a Bridgeport, Connecticut address, they had to pay for a parking pass.
A lot of them did.
It was like $25.
$25 for the day.
And I just think that this is amazing. So one of the things that really impressed me, we asked Jason to call. Let's see if that's him. Thank you for calling Connecticut at your service. Do you have a question?
Yes, this is Jason.
Hey, Jason! Thank you so much for calling. So, Jason, you just tapped in on just an absolute perfect point of our conversation. I was just getting ready to share with Jaiden that it showed that manufacturing is very broad. People think you have to build something of metal, or it just has to do with Sikorsky or something else, but it actually shows that the number one industry is aerospace and transportation, that it's chemicals, fabricated products, miscellaneous, computer, machinery, even food and tobacco is considered manufacturing. I thought that was amazing. Plastics and paper. So a lot of people think that it's just one thing when it's actually very broad. So Jason, before you got on the phone, we were actually we were going to start talking about the apprentice program. So we have a flyer that we're going to put up about the apprentice program, and I would love for you to share a little bit about that program, what it has, what it offers, and how you make a difference in it, in helping young people just like you did for Jaiden.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the apprenticeship program is a workplace opportunity. It's one of many programs that the workplace offers for job training programs. And the main focus is just to increase the pipeline of young adults and adults getting into manufacturing careers. There's a huge need for it. There's an aging workforce, and the time is really now because people are aging out, and they need to transfer that knowledge to the new generation of the manufacturing industry.
So tell us a little bit about kind of what's involved with the training, how long is it, and how does somebody inquire more?
Yeah, definitely. Currently we're offering an introduction to manufacturing training at Derby High School. That is a 10-week program. It's 120 hours. And in that program, it's an evening program. They're going to learn the basics of manufacturing math, some blueprint reading, machine technology. They're going to learn about advanced machine technology, and they're going to also get some certifications, OSHA for safety, forklift training, and then we have a national recognized NIMS credential that's highly regarded in the industry. But it's a commitment. It's a 10-week program. It's in the evenings, 3 days a week, and it's in partnership with Housatonic Community College. We actually do a 2-week workforce readiness boot camp before they get on site at the machine shop in Derby. And we also offer a CNC Level 1 course at Platt Technical School in Milford. And that's a 90-hour program. It's a 15-week training program. That's going to be coming up the end of August, and we will be sharing information about that online as well. But all you really need to do is go to the workplace.org website, and you can click on programs, and you can go to the Apprenticeship Works program, and you can apply from there. And you'll get a call from one of our case managers, and they'll tell you what you need in order to supply some documents to become eligible for the program.
So Jason, our show is a live show, but people do watch it after. Now you mentioned the workplace.org website, but could you also provide the phone number in case the flyer is really small, of someone that they could call direct and say, listen, I'm ready for manufacturing training? Because this couldn't be a better time, because, you know, students are, you know, graduating this year, so it's a really good opportunity, an alternative to college, although college is very important. I don't want to take it away from that. But one of the things that Jaiden said is that as soon as I was done with, you know, with high school, I wanted to get a job, right? So you mentioned that this starting program is just 10 weeks, and then it really opens up the door to other things.
Definitely
very
does.
well said. So what's the phone number and the website?
Yeah, the website workplace.org/apprenticeship works. And they can call one of our case managers directly. Her name is Alexandra Langston, and she's available at 203-610-8139, and she'd be happy to help you.
So Jason, last piece of other question. So what makes the program at the workplace so different, right? Because you're offering, Jaiden and I were talking a little bit about that not only are you offering training, but you're helping with placement assistance, and then you're working with them for, what is it, for a year?
Yeah, I mean, I work with them until they get to where they need to get, to be honest with you.
Well, beyond that, I know.
Our work is never done.
That's very true.
Yeah. So tell me about the employment services in particular, and I don't want to end the call because I think a lot of job seekers today, we were talking a little bit earlier on the call, that it's not only about getting in the job, staying in the job, and growing in the job. So what might be some advice that you might give?
Well,
to job seekers in general, and those.
Yeah, for job seekers, I just think if you're tired of maybe like a 9-to-5 retail job, you think that you're meant for something bigger and better. Manufacturing is a high growth industry with a lot of potential. You get to use your hands. You could use the computers. I mean, there's a lot of technology going into manufacturing now with programming computers, robotics. I mean, the sky's really the limit. If you just apply yourself and go through one of these accelerated trainings, you can get work pretty quickly right after training, and then there's still other opportunities to possibly continue your education with other evening programs or going into a community college for more advanced training. So there's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of money being invested into the workforce in manufacturing.
Definitely.
And it's only going to grow from here.
So Jason, I thought that was the last question, but it's not the last question. So I wanted to ask you both this question.
Okay.
So you guys mentioned that you're both part of manufacturing CT. And you said, Jaiden, that you're actually an ambassador and that Jason sits on their roundtable. So Jason, I'm going to start with you. Tell me about that group and who's kind of in it and how do they support up and coming companies, supporting each other, supporting young people?
Yeah, so Manufacture CT has been around for a while. It used to be the New Haven Manufacturing Association, and they recently rebranded to Manufacture CT, and they have like a networking program for 21 and older folks that are in manufacturing or interested in getting into it. But when I was working with Jaiden, I connected her with somebody that's on the board of Manufacture CT, and she kind of served as one of Jaiden's mentors, and she kind of,
Definitely.
with one of her employees at her company that she works at, she kind of empowered Jaiden and her employee to start this program for 16 to 20-year-olds that are either working in the industry or are interested in getting into it, and they can kind of meet on a monthly basis and go do fun things that 16 to 20-year-olds do and kind of network and kind of share ideas and kind of help support each other.
Awesome. And Jaiden, what does it mean to be an ambassador for this organization, for Manufacture CT?
Supporting it and being a part of it. Jason is an ambassador, but he doesn't directly do the manufacturing stuff like I do. He supports those who want to get into it. He's really close with the companies who are part of it. He's just a support system, but he's like, I'm an ambassador, he's an ambassador. We do two different jobs, but we all support the same industry.
Lift, right?
Yeah,
the lift of the industry.
Yeah, we all do the same. We all support each other.
You know, so I thank you, Jason, so much. We'll put the flyer up again at the end. But thank you for all that you do. And I just want to give a shout out to Louis, who is the new director. He took over for Sarah. And I will tell you that everybody on your team just has such incredible energy about helping the young people. So we celebrate you on this show, not only the workplace, what you do at the workplace, but also the young people that you're impacting every day through your programs, because your whole staff doesn't let them go. It's like if it's not one, it's the other one that reaches out, and we just help keep them standing when sometimes they feel like they can't. And that's across all of our programs, not just manufacturing or the apprentice program. So Jason, I want to say thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on the call.
All right, have a great day.
All right.
So, sorry, Jason, I went to hit the button too soon. So, Jaiden, so I really don't want to end the call without some advice. First of all, because your company has just been so amazing in allowing, you to do what you do, and what was it, Penn Globe?
No, I work at Essex Industries in Milford.
At Essex, and you do what there? Quality control.
I'm a quality inspector. I am. Yes.
All right. So when you were talking about what are some of the things that keep you coming to work every day?
My job is a family. We are so close to each other. One of the guys they bought a company in Seymour, and one of the guys came and he took over, and I was talking to him, and he, we joke around, and it was his birthday. She was like, guess my age. I said, 62. He's like, I'm 52. But we became a family so fast. And, I've never felt uncomfortable. I've never felt like I needed to fight for my job. We're a team, we're a family, and I've been there almost 4 months. And that's what has kept me there.
It seems longer.
Listen.
It seems longer. So I
definitely.
think it definitely
but
is family.
No, it is.
So does your company, Tessa works for the same company you do?
She works for Penn Globe.
Okay, that's what I was saying. So I wasn't far off.
No, you weren't.
So it really is a collaborative kind of,
definitely.
in two different areas.
Yeah.
So in that same report that I was mentioning before, it was talking about that companies that we need to continue to invest in regional trade schools, because some kids need that alternative. That teaching high school students that they have, that manufacturing creates well-paying jobs without having to go to college, although I'm a college kid, so I want to make sure that you guys know that that's really important.
No, definitely.
Encouraging trades and developing internal training.
No,
so
definitely.
Tell me about some of what does your company do that you celebrate that helps them advance their people from inside the company? And we have probably like about 3 minutes.
No, it's okay. No, they do everything they can. If they feel like you're ready, you're ready for the next part of your job. Pretty soon I'll be learning a different skill than I've been doing for the last 3 months. They make sure you're growing. When I had my interview, my boss told me before I got the job, she said, you will grow here. You will not stay in the same spot. You will do everything you can. We'll do everything we can to make sure you're growing, because we want to see you grow. They have really pushed all of us to do better, and they do what they can. We'll have like little pizza parties. We'll have donut day. We'll do stuff like that.
Donut day?
Yeah, we're doing it on Friday.
I need donut day, Kathy. Okay, sorry.
It's because Friday's National Donut Day. So they do stuff like that. Also, not only do we appreciate them, but they show how much they appreciate us as employees.
And that's as a family, right? Because
definitely.
It's not, I will tell you that I've talked to many, many people over my 25 years in workforce development. And they tell me that it's not the job that stops them from coming back. It's the relationships within that company that, if you get sick or your family members get sick, or continuing education,
definitely.
or, holidays off, or, just not making you feel guilty about your work, but just being able to celebrate individual things within companies. So I thank you so much for all that you do. And we're going to put that flyer up again from the workplace, because I want you to really quickly tell them about your next meetup, and then how do they get in touch with you to join a meetup if they're a young person.
So our laser tag event.
Laser tag.
We're doing laser tag and mini golf at the Shelton Sports Center. On there it has our email address, youngmanufacturingmeetups@gmail.com. They can email us and get in touch with us, and we can schedule something. If parents want to get their kids involved, they're more than welcome to do so.
Do they need to be in manufacturing?
They want to have to be a part of it.
Have an aspiration to.
Yes.
Which I think is a great feeder into other programs, even Housatonic, who's a partner.
Yeah, definitely. They're a partner
CT.
for me as well. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. So any final words of manufacturing companies that are looking to recruit individuals like you that are motivated and want more and can see the light at the end of the tunnel and can stick in the everyday work? What is some advice for them?
Don't let their age be the reason why you don't do it. Because some of us are very smart, even though we're very young. So always take that leap of faith that we're able to do the job no matter our age, no matter what we look like, female, male, whatever. At the end of the day, we know what we're doing. We did training for this.
Jaiden, thank you so much for being a guest here today. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each week. Thank you to all our guests in our 1-year anniversary show. We would not be able to do what we do without you. So thank you, and tune in again next week. Connecticut at your service.